kind of let it go. And I think at the end, that saves the grace. I'm like, you know what? I think she grew up a lot in that last little episode. And maybe I'd like to think that she became a better person after that.
Yeah, you know what? You know what, RJ? She's a product of her upbringing. Sadly, for the worse. I mean, she grew up and was raised a certain way, and that's what she knows. And yeah, but I was glad that she let him go.
Yeah, that was it spoke to her character that she could do that.
Absolutely.
So I think she became a better person. So Rudy, how you doing?
Good to see you, buddy. No, I just saying hi to Rudy.
Let's go. Well, let's go with that one that you were about to pick. Let's go. Yes.
Name?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jennifer, what is your question?
Well, I'd heard that you, especially with the twins, would say really dirty things to make each other crack up laughing. What were some of the funniest things that did?
Papa Victor already got on me once about the box of brief thing. I can't comment on that. So, dirty thing. Funny one. Yeah. Oh, well, no, we, typically, Greg would I would record before Greg, so he would leave a lot of things for me. Things about, I'm gonna run over your mom with my car, or, I'm gonna put your puppy down the garbage disposal, all those funny things, and I just was, Greg. No, he never said anything like that. But he left goofy things that would mess me up, and we'd have to stay later after hours to record, and I was like, oh, you Greg. But we're buddies now again, and we're fine. We're Yowie-tastic.
All right, so she was next, correct?
Yeah, this young lady.
They're all pointing to her, yes, with purple ears. Purple cat ears, they're not her ears.
Hi, how are you?
My question is, what is a quality, good or bad, that you share with your character?
Quality, good or bad, that we share with our character? That's a good question. Very well put. Thank you. You want to go first? What do you think?
You go through like 5 sticks a week, beating all the fans off. Like, just break a stick every week. That's the quality that you share.
We both play piano. I agree, right? It's very sad.
Are you doing a concert this weekend, Vic?
Wait, he's singing to us right now. Aww. Did you ever notice that babies stop crying if you cry back at them? Am I right? They still go.
That's my thing. Like, that's my game. What are you doing? Yeah, they're like, whoa, no. Sorry, this crib ain't big enough for the both of us.
What's his name? The one that's crying. Hi, Christian. Hey, Christian. Christian.
He's on his BlackBerry. He doesn't want to mess with you.
Hey, Christian, text me. Text me. We'll hook up later and go to the water slide park.
But okay, so the question was qualities good and bad that we share, right, with our characters. And yours was good or bad? Yeah. And yours was that you play piano, right? And then that's good.
Well, that's kind of a thing. It's not really a quality, but
I disagree. I think playing the piano speaks very much to one's character.
Okay, then that's my answer. What's yours?
I'm kind of a mother hen, like Kyoya is in real life. If I'm in a big group of people, I'm usually the one making sure that everyone's safe, and I'm the killjoy. And if I can't be the killjoy, I'm the one taking notes, so I have the goods on everybody later. So that's kind of how I've always been.
Both have shorter, blonde brothers that attack us on set. So, yeah.
Okay, his brother, by the way, like the real one, laid me out one day when he was at the studio. Your little brother, you remember that? And he was like, I can totally beat you up. And he just latched to me and started wailing on me. Like the real Honey Senpai. I'm like, Aaron, get your brother off of me. I don't know what I did. I was like, nope.
He's like a little Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Okay,
I thought of something that's funny. When Caitlin Glass first saw Ouran High School, it was a year and a half before the show was licensed. I mean, there was not even any clue that Funimation would get the show or that any of us would ever be cast in the show. But a friend of Caitlin's gave her some discs of this show and said, you have to watch this show. Well, Caitlin watched it, she fell in love with it. And she called me and she said, oh my gosh, there is a character in this show. It's you. It's you. I mean, it's totally you. And I was like, well, then I need to see this show, right? To see what Caitlin thinks of me. So she gave me the disc, and I'm watching, I'm like, here's Tamaki, and he's so romantic, and he's so smooth, and I'm like, yeah. That's right. I'm like, yeah, Caitlin, you got me figured out, don't you? And then the next thing you know, he's bawling and whining in the corner, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute! Which one of these reminds me of me? But I adore Tamaki. I just want to say something. I fell in love with that character. I did the cardinal sin of actors. I fell in love with the role long before there was even a chance that I could play the role, that I would get a chance. And when we got to do this show, of all the shows I've ever done, including Full Metal, there has never been a show that I savored every word. I knew what I was doing. When I was doing it, I knew how special the show was. I was already so in love with the show, and just really, you know, just wrung as much experiential, like open up all of your pores and take in as much of the sensory input of doing that show as I could, because I loved it. I'd do a line and Caitlin would go, oh, that's great, let's go on. And I'd be like, can I do it again? I just wanted to, I didn't want to lose the moment. I love the show.
I had a very similar experience, if we can digress for a moment, because I found out about the show because I do a lot of adaptive writing for Funimation as well, and I got to work on Son of Ouran long before it came to audition, because the scripts are often done months before it ever, reaches the actors for audition. And I didn't know anything about the show going into it. I mean, I'd heard about it, but I didn't, hadn't seen anything, of course. Hadn't read the manga, didn't really know, hadn't really talked to Caitlin about it. And I had the first episode I saw, because I was time coding, which is part of the writing process. Very boring, I won't go into details, but I started episode 8, which is the beach episode. And there's a moment in that episode where Kyoya and Haruhi have this very awkward face-off. He's got his shirt off and he's like, and he kind of teaches her a lesson. And you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And the show just took this, not dark turn, but this really mature moment where I was like, this is a really sophisticated show, like hiding behind a wacky, there's like, I called it a panel, I said it's like a nest of vipers dipped in chocolate. It's totally, and I instantly, like when Kyoya walked away, after Tamaki comes in the room and he's like, I have suntan lotion, I'm out of, and freaks out, and then Kyoya's like, here, idiot, and like, shoves the suntan lotion in his face and walks off, and he quotes Haruhi saying something like, oh, I wouldn't have done anything, huh? Interesting notion in its own way. And he walks away and he says that, and I'm like, there's a lot going on in his head, and I became obsessed with that character, which, as Vic has noted, is death if you're an actor, because you really want to play him. And you audition enough up there that it's easy, it gets easier every time. When you want a character that badly, and I wanted to play Kyoya so badly after, that several months previously, I was like, 6 months chomping at the bit, just wanted to audition. I was nervous like I had never been nervous before in the booth, ever. And when I got it, I was just like, wow, I can't believe it. So,
how about you, man? How about you? Anything you share in common with your character?
Well, right now the bad is the fact that we both part our hairs. So, hello, Sulu.
But I can tell by the part that it's the real Todd.
Yeah, it's the real me. And
it's not the CGI Todd.
I guess the good is that we both like being in host clubs. I like the Star Trek host club. Yeah.
You have to admit, Todd Haberkorn would be an excellent host.
Yes, he would. Hey, before I forget, I'm going to do a shameless plug because I need to do this. A lot of you guys wrote me and asked me if I was going to be bringing my music CDs this weekend of my own original music, and I have them for you this weekend, and I'll have them at the autograph sessions. And I'm really excited about a brand new CD that I just released, and the reason why I want to tell you about it here is because there are 3 songs from anime series that I've done that I got permission to put on the CD. One of them is the Brothers theme from Full Metal Alchemist. One of them is Dean Angel theme. And one of them is a song called Guilty Beauty Love from High School Musical. So I'll have those at the autograph session. I would love for you guys to have them if you're interested. So I just wanted to let you